Have you ever had a stretchy neckline snap? On commercial garments, they use stretch machines, so that never happens. On this clone, I used a regular sewing machine to top stitch. But it's a wider neckline, so it doesn't matter so much. Now, what happens if you have a close fitting stretchy top? Let's test out stretch thread. Yes, there's such a thing as stretch thread. Let's have a look at what stretch thread is. I've got my Gooderman brand stretch thread. It says it's Mariflex. And I want to know how stretchy it is. I am a little bit skeptical actually because you see, there is a minute little bit of stretch in there. I thought it was going to be more, but there you go. There is a tiny bit of stretch. Let's compare against another good brand, a Metla, regular thread, and zero stretch. Well, here I go with the top stitching of my binding of my cloned berry top. So it's that black top in the left, and I've cloned it, and I've got binding around the neckline. If you'd like to see how I'm doing that in detail, please do have a look at this video. It's in the right corner, top right corner. But I'm just top stitching around with my stretch thread in my needle this time. And here's my finished neckline, top stitched with a thread that's stretchy apparently. And here I go, stretching it out. It has some stretch, but not as much as I was expecting. So maybe we should compare that with a top stitch with regular thread. Here's this t-shirt, and as you can see, stretchy material. Let's look at the neckline. It does have some stretch. This is the same binding technique, but I've used regular thread to top stitch. Let's compare it to my stretch thread. It's a different shape neckline, but I think it does have a little more stretch. Let's go back to my other shirt. And yeah, there's still stretch even with regular thread, but this one has more. Now, dum me forgot to put stretch thread in the bobbin, so I only had it on the top thread. Let's see what happens when I put it in the bobbin as well. And let's do a really big test because wrist openings are very small and they need to stretch quite a bit if you've got a fitted wrist. So let's try it out now with stretch thread in the top as well as the bobbin. I'm doing the same technique. I'm just doing my binding. And if you want to see how that's done with greater teaching, I have this video in the right-hand corner that shows how I do neckline binding, and you can apply this in the same way at the wrists. Results time. Okay, I'm a bit worried now. I've got some serious problems here. I really am feeling that thread cut into my fingers as I stretch it. There's serious tension problems, and it just snapped. Okay, is this a factor of the thread, or now I've got it snapped, it actually stretches really well. So I think it's probably, let's just, do it again and check it out on the other wrist, just in case there was a bit of user error. It snapped. Okay, this is what happens when your thread doesn't stretch with your material. Now, what I believe is wrong is that my machine doesn't like this stretch thread winding onto the bobbin. The reason I say that is because visually that tension just did not look good. The thread coming out of my machine didn't look good, and it always did look good any other time. So knowing from using shirring thread where you have to wind it by hand, I suspect there's a winding drama with my machine and anything that stretches. So here I am. I'm going to fix this up quick and dirty. I'm just sewing over my snapped areas. And now I've got a wrist line that works for me. So let's just fix up that area of snappage as well. Now, when I do this, I do a little bit of overlap over the existing stitch that will just secure it so that doesn't continue to unravel. And again, when I meet the next bit of thread, I will do a little bit of overlap as well. And the moral of the story is don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Some tests work, some don't, but you can still salvage things. There we go. I've got a happy wrist. I really think that I can get my wrist through that and it will work without any dramas. Let's see. There we go. It's not even tight on me. It's perfect. Functionally, anyway. Now, before we get to the final comparisons of stretch thread versus regular thread, let's just go through some of the user errors that might have been at play and might make the sewing better. Oh, and by the way, if you're enjoying the content, please do hit the subscribe button. All right, I know my blind hem very well. And again, this is why we have overlockers, because if we're working a lot with stretch fabric, an overlocker is one machine that handles stretch fabric very well. Now, if you want to see the video, the teaching video of how to blind hem, including how to set up the machine, that's dropping next time. So make sure you subscribe. Also, what's dropping is my clone video for the berry top. But let's see how it behaves. Now, that is the hem of the black commercial top. We expect it to stretch very well. They have all the right machines. And here is the blind hem on my home overlocker. Yeehaw. It is the perfect hem for a close top. You can do one on the sewing machine, but again, another time. Well, it's an interesting final comparison. Here's our commercial black top. Stretches beautifully on that bound neckline. So let's see how that will compare to 0 stretch threads, simply normal thread in the upper and the bobbin. Still works. And now let's have a look at stretch thread in the upper, normal thread in the bobbin. Slightly better. So we're liking this for maximum stretch. The next will be our little pink with the stretch thread in the upper. And finally, no stretch thread, usually better for looser garments. And here's my berry top. I got in and out of this multiple times. Nothing broke. You can see that my neckline, my wrists and my hemline are quite good. My aesthetic worry is that my fixed wrist, where the seams broke, would be displeasing, are not much to worry about. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and use your new skill. Go try thread that stretches for yourself. Enjoy your comfy life and see you next time.